Hello, GW political junkies, and welcome to this episode of Colonial Crossfire Campaign Countdown. 5 days. In just 5 short days, Americans all over the country will head to the polls and cast their ballots for the 2020 presidential election. But not all Americans, because some, many actually, have already voted. As of right now, more than 65.5 million people have voted in the election. That's more than the number of Americans who voted early in 2016 and almost 45% of the total number of ballots cast in 2016. And we still have 5 more days until November 3rd. And in politics, that's an eternity. So as we inch closer to Election Day, the candidates are rounding the country, making their final pitches to voters, hitting several states in a day. So to bring us up to speed on all the campaigns, we have our fantastic correspondents with us today. Covering the former Vice President Joe Biden this week, we have BRIANNA BUDELLI, and covering President Trump, we have SCHNELL Govindarao. BRIANNA and SCHNELL, thank you both for being here. We'll start today's conversation with an update from the trail and take a look at what the candidates have been up to. BRIANNA, what's the latest from the Biden campaign?
With the election less than 5 days away, the Biden campaign has been focused on hitting those battleground states. Last Saturday, Biden held multiple drive-in events in Pennsylvania. He criticized President Trump's comments on the coronavirus, especially when he said the U.S. was rounding the corner as cases are currently spiking. Biden also had to weather an accusation of corruption made by Trump, who accused him of being involved in Hunter Biden's Ukrainian business dealings. However, in a positive turn of events, former President Barack Obama finally joined the Biden team on the campaign trail. The two men released a video last Thursday contrasting Trump and Biden's leadership on matters ranging from public health to the economy to race. Obama emphasized his confidence in Biden's ability to bring people together. The campaign is hoping Obama's appeal within all corners of the Democratic Party will help secure Biden's win on Election Day. In the days to come, Biden, Harris, and Obama are heading to key states including Georgia, Nevada, Arizona, and Florida. The team will continue to push a message of unity to the American people.
Thanks, BRIANNA. SCHNELL, what's the dispatch from the Trump camp?
President Trump has also been focusing on battleground states, especially those he won in 2016, Arizona, Michigan, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania. In fact, on Monday, the president held 3 rallies in Pennsylvania alone. He believes that if he wins Pennsylvania, the election is his. He told a crowd in Allentown this week, "We win Pennsylvania, we win the whole thing." In Allentown, Trump also threatened to withhold federal aid for Pennsylvania because he felt the governor made it difficult to find a site to hold a campaign rally. The president, however, took a break from the campaign trail on Monday night to swear in Judge Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. With just 8 days to the election, the president solidified what could be one of his strongest stumps on the trail, moving the bench to the ideological right, creating a 6-3 conservative majority. As we inch closer to Election Day, the president is continuing his aggressive speech on the trail, largely speaking to his base and looking past the moderate bloc.
Thanks, SCHNELL. All right, next on our agenda is a debate roundup. Last Thursday, the candidates dueled on stage for the second and final presidential debate in Miami, Florida. This one, though, was a bit different. The candidates largely avoided interrupting each other, and the moderator, Kristen Welker, actually had a mute button for the mics. Let's take a closer look. BRIANNA, how'd Biden perform at the debate?
Vice President Biden kept his composure as he and President Trump engaged in a more substantive final debate last week. In his first opportunity to speak, Biden criticized Trump's handling of the pandemic. He said anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America. Biden then laid out his own plan for dealing with the coronavirus, encouraging the use of masks, investing in rapid testing, federal standards for reopening schools and businesses, and funding for those schools and small businesses to comply with public health guidelines. In response to Trump's mudslinging, Biden blatantly stated he won't rule out banning fracking and that he doesn't want to overhaul the health system. Biden reminded Trump that he is running against a moderate Joe Biden, not a more progressive Democrat. Biden's middle-of-the-road approach has been a key component of his campaign. The best way to summarize his platform? Biden's closing statement: "I'm an American president. I represent all of you."
Thanks, Brianna. Sejal, give us a rundown of how the president performed at the debate.
President Trump definitely listened to some of his advisors because there was a large shift in tone between the first debate and this past one. The first debate was very aggressive and dominated by interruptions, mostly on the president's part. But this time around, the president spoke in a way that made him appear more patient and calm. Now, this isn't to say that Trump didn't take personal shots at Biden during the debate. Quote, "Joe, I ran because of you. I ran because of Barack Obama, because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would never have run," Trump said to the vice president. Regarding race, the president avoided stating whether or not he supports Black Lives Matter and claimed he was, quote, "the least racist person in the room." The president pointed a finger at China again for the coronavirus when asked if he would take responsibility for the US's response earlier this year. National security was another hot topic on the debate stage. The president touted his relationship with North Korea's Kim Jong-un as reasons for the eased tensions between the US and North Korea.
All right, thanks, Sejal. And now the next topic is that 60 Minutes interview that sparked headlines even before the episode aired. On Sunday, in line with tradition, 60 Minutes presented their episode on the candidates, two 20-minute segments on the Democratic and Republican ticket. Policy stances and the historical nature of the election were discussed, but what really caught onlookers from inside and outside the Washington Beltway was the fact that President Trump walked out of his interview after abruptly ending the questioning. Let's take a look at that news-packed episode. Sejal, what exactly happened to President Trump there?
Yes, the president did in fact walk out of his interview early. When he walked out, White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany walked in with a large book in hand, claiming it was the president's comprehensive healthcare plan. The contents of the book, however, were largely executive orders and congressional initiatives. The interview was off to a rocky start from the beginning, when Leslie Stahl warned Trump that she would be asking tough questions. The president exited the interview seemingly frustrated and went as far to post the recording of the interview himself to his Facebook page before the 60 Minutes interview aired. Accompanying the video on Facebook, he wrote, "Look at the bias, hatred, and rudeness on behalf of 60 Minutes and CBS."
Thanks, Sejal. Brianna, what did VP Biden and Senator Harris have to say in their part of the interview?
In his interview, Biden made his case for why he should be president. Biden said he feels good about his campaign standing at this point in the race, but that he doesn't underestimate Trump. With the Amy Coney Barrett hearings being a hot topic, Biden responded to questions about court packing. He said he would form a national, bipartisan committee of constitutional scholars who will make recommendations on how to reform the court system. In response to Trump's attempt to frame the election as a choice between law and order, Biden said he's never supported defunding the police nor the use of violence by protesters. Kamala Harris was also interviewed on Sunday. Harris stood firmly by Biden, downplaying the thought that he is not progressive enough for her. The pair has publicized their mutual respect for one another's perspective and honesty in policy matters.
Thanks, Brianna. And finally, let's do a quick numbers crunch before we go. With 5 days until Election Day, there definitely isn't a lack in polls. National, battleground, favorability, approval ratings, you name it, and odds are it's been polled. So let's take a closer look at some of those polls and the crosstabs. Sejal, what do the numbers say for the Trump campaign?
Well, according to USA Today, this week, Trump has made gains in 9 of 12 contested states, but Biden still has leads in 10 of them. Biden leads with 3 or more percentage points on average in 5 of the swing states, including Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, the ones that President Trump is vying for on the trail. Trump recently grew his lead in Ohio and slightly decreased Biden's leads in Arizona, Florida, and Georgia. But at the same time, he lost ground in Texas and Iowa. In terms of fundraising, the Trump campaign fell behind Biden as the vice president's donations surged after the summer.
Thanks, Sejal. Brianna, how are the numbers for the Biden camp?
CNN's national polling average shows Biden has a 10-point lead over Trump among registered or likely voters. At this time in 2016, Hillary Clinton only had a 4-point lead over Trump. The 2020 poll shows a stability that wasn't there in 2016. With November 3rd quickly approaching, Biden just needs to focus on holding on to the voters that he has. Looking at the fundraising numbers, Biden also has the upper hand, with over $100 million more raised than Trump. Biden saw a major surge in donations after he tapped Senator Harris as his running mate. An aggressive virtual fundraising strategy of online events with high-profile surrogates helped the uptick of donors, especially in battleground states. One group that contributed to the boost? Women. In August, the Biden-Harris ticket received a record $33.4 million from American women. The Trump campaign only received $8.7 million from female donors that month.
Brianna, thank you. And that'll do it for this episode of Colonial Crossfire Campaign Countdown. Brianna Budelli, Sejal Govindarao, thank you both so much for joining us today. Be sure to check us out online at www.gw-tv.com and follow us on Twitter and Instagram and like us on Facebook. A quick programming note, if we didn't say it enough today, Election Day is in 5 days. It's like the Super Bowl for us here at Colonial Crossfire. So to celebrate on election night, we're going live from 7 p.m. Eastern time to 8 p.m. Eastern for a pre-results conversation. I'll be there, as well as Jessica Nix from our headline segment and our fact checker, Kyle Anderson. And of course, some of our friends from GW College Democrats and College Republicans will join us to talk about the evening to come. Be sure to tune in at 7 p.m. on GWTV's Facebook page. And finally, be sure to vote. I'll say it again, we're 5 days away from Election Day. We live in the United States of America, the beacon of democracy on the world stage. Our right to vote is the pinnacle of our democracy. It's a fundamental process that helps maintain this democracy. It's our civic duty. So if you're watching this right now, make sure you get out and vote. Make a plan, whether that's voting early or going on Election Day, make sure you cast that ballot. And whichever candidate you vote for, take pride in casting that vote. As President Abraham Lincoln once said, elections belong to the people. You are the American people. So get out there and vote in your election. For all of us here at GWTV, I'm MYCHAEL SCHNELL. Thanks for getting caught in the crossfire with us. We'll see you right back here on election night.